Too.
I know.
Hey, everybody. We're live. Jason is sitting in a dimly lit room.
That's because it's a Wednesday night, Katie. That's what we do on Wednesday.
It's the Wednesday night dims.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the Wednesday night, like the Sunday night blues.
Katie, I don't know how to say this, but I don't even have any lamps, okay?
Jason, you need lamps. Okay, so hi. We were having some technical difficulties. I couldn't hear Jason, and he's got to do this from his phone.
Yeah, look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that garbage right there.
Yeah, he lives in Prescott in a vortex, I think.
I'm in the vortex.
So I sent this out to a couple of people, so hopefully they'll be watching tonight because we have some really good stuff to talk about.
Yes.
I'm drinking an energy drink because I needed some energy for this, and I freaked out that I couldn't hear you. So far, nobody's watching. So we're gonna be testing out different times also. Because when we did it in the morning, it was pretty good. I'm gonna roll the intro here, and then we'll be back. Did you see that nice little background I've got going on there?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Check it out. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, don't remember, or whatever, this is streaming to our Check This Out PC Facebook page and also my realtor page because, you know, the 13 subscribers I have on my realtor page have to know how awesome you are too. And you'll bring more. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Jason's wearing a Superman shirt because that's who he is, you guys. So we'll kind of get you caught up because it's been a while. We took a month break last June and we haven't been back since.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do that anymore because we have lots of good info to give you. Okay. So I'm going to switch this up a little bit, I think. I don't know if you guys like our faces really close or far away, but so I'm a real estate agent. You guys, those of you that know, I have also a Candor with Katie podcast. This is on my regular page, and then this is Check This Out. And we were thinking about changing the name because there's some other Check This Out. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix that. Woo, okay. So Jason, tell them a little bit about you real quick.
Well, I am a mortgage lender, which is always interesting and fascinating, especially these days. But I tell you what, between a real estate agent and a lender, Katie and I cause some damage.
Yeah, we do.
So, and here's the fun thing about me. My background in the mortgage business goes back 20 years. I started in the corporate office. And I was not a loan officer when I started. So it gives me a really unique perspective, especially when it comes to topics like today. So I've got all kinds of just crazy stuff that sometimes is useless up here. Yeah. Sometimes it's not. So yeah.
That's my friend Megan. Hi, Megan. Okay. So what's awesome about you too, Jason? So you must be so old being in the business 20 years. I've only been in the real estate business 6 years.
I'm 29. It's okay.
Are you multitasking while we're doing a podcast?
I'm trying to get my computer up right now.
I know. I was giving Jason a hard time. Megan says, I love Jason's shirt. Boom. Of course. So they call him Superman. He's got a big poster in his room. So not his room, like it's high school. I've seen Jason's room. He doesn't have any lamps. There it is. No lamps and a Superman poster.
That's right. No lamps and a Superman poster. That's how we roll on Wednesdays.
Here's our topic tonight, everyone. How to beat inflation. Jason, we were talking about this earlier this week. So one thing Jason and I are going to do, and another thing I'm going to be working on for Candor with Katie too, and my real estate stuff is giving you those little videos like teasers, and we'll have this up. Like we talked about this on Friday, so I just had to do that this weekend and get it together. So, Jason, what do you mean by this? I mean, is this can anybody do this?
Well, I tell you what we have that we're talking about today is really specific to anybody that owns a home or has some resources to be able to get into real estate.
What do you mean by resources?
Well, I mean cash, right? I'll put it to you this way. What we're talking about today, in a lot of different ways, is an investment. That's all it really is. We're talking about the investment power and what you do in it. And I'll get into it a little bit more in depth here in a minute. But you have choices with what it is that you choose to do with your currency. With your currency, you can choose to buy stocks. You can choose to buy bonds. You can choose to put it in a shoebox underneath your bed. There's all different kinds of things that you have the ability to do with that. And some of those things are better at certain times than others. And inflation is one of those deals that has one of the most significant impacts on what it is that you choose to do with your resources. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
So specifically because we're a realtor and lender team, I feel like I'm so big because I'm up closer and you're so far away. So I should stand back here.
Here, hold on. I'll scoot forward. How about that?
It's okay. Just stand close. We're specifically talking about it in the home market for sales. Sales, buys, that kind of thing. Okay. So I just had someone reach out to me who I'd sold a house to a few years ago, and they're thinking about buying an investment home, another second property. And she was like, I don't think I can in this market the way it is, because everybody, how this market's been. We're still sending contracts out that are over asking price, and that kind of a thing. But how could someone now that owns a house actually use their money to make money?
Well, I'll tell you what, before I get into that,
okay,
let me talk to you a little bit about the problem that's going on in the economy today. So before we get how to do that, let's build a little bit of the case of what it is that's going on. So I'm pretty sure that everybody who has been kind of watching the news or anything like that, we kind of know that inflation is at the highest level in 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Inflation is a real problem. In January, the core price index came back with over a 7% or 7.5% increase. It was the largest increase in 40 years. It increased in February to over 8.2%. Here's what that means. It means that the value of the money that you have in your wallet, the value of the money that you have in your checking account, the value of the money that you have in the shoebox that's underneath your bed, it means that that money is worth less today than it was yesterday or a year ago or whatever it is. And whenever they're kind of measuring inflation, what they're talking about is how much less it'll buy. I'll give you a great example. You want to know where it's at?
Okay, wait 1 sec. Just want to put this up. This is a realtor in New Mexico. One of my friends. The market is so crazy and the inventory is so stagnant. Because I want you to bring this up. Sorry, did I cut your thought off? It's so true, Kim. It's true everywhere. I think you're in Roswell, right? Which is like 50,000 people. Still things. She says higher inflation might make prices drop on a lot of these overinflated prices. So maybe that's where you're going. Sorry, just wanted to read those real quick.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. No doubt. So I'll give you an example of really where it is, probably most felt right now. If, and I hate to say this, but the good old days, whenever you'd buy gas, let's say gas was at $3 a gallon, right?
Yeah. And now that seems cheap, right?
I know, right? Now it's kind of like, hey, you know what? $3 we'd pay. That's fine. Now it's trading around $4.60. Okay. So to get 20 gallons of gasoline, instead of it costing $60, right now it's costing $92. And here's the question you have to ask yourself. Is the gasoline different? Does it burn different in your car? Nope. Does you get a better gas mileage off of it? Nope. It's the exact same gasoline. Nothing has changed. The value of the gasoline hasn't changed. What's changed is the value of your dollar. Your dollar, instead of $60 buying your gasoline, $92 is what it takes to buy that gasoline. That's an example of what inflation is. Your dollar buying less over time. The classic definition of this: too many dollars chasing too few goods is what causes inflation. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, that's exactly what Kim just said.
Yeah.
Boom. It's inventory so stagnant. So here in Metro Phoenix, Jason and I were just talking about this. It's a really expansive city too. It's the 5th largest city in the nation. We cannot keep up with inventory. So people are always talking, blah blah blah. We're just never going to get caught up. I don't believe ever in our lives, to be honest with you, because there's so many people moving here. But so as far as this is concerned, because I'm sure everybody's worried, like, now I don't want to go into work as much. I don't want to do this. Oh, I had already saved this much money for a house. Now, is that going to screw me, out of being able to get it? So specifically with this, how can someone actually beat inflation?
There's actually a really, really good way that you can do that. And let me ask you, Katie, I'll ask you this question, and you're going to help me illustrate this point. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So here's what it is that I want you to do. I want you to take your hand and put it up like this. Put your hand like this. I want you to raise it. I want you to keep your hand up. If you've sold a house in the last 2 years, I already know the answer to this question. You sold lots of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what it is that I want you to do now. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about one of those. Put somebody in your mind. Don't have to tell us who it is, but think of one of the people that we've helped over the last couple of years.
Okay.
You got that family in your mind?
I do.
Okay. Now I want you to ask this question and keep your hand up. Keep your hand up.
Oh.
Keep your hand up.
Okay.
Keep your hand up if this family that you're thinking about, if that family is probably feeling the pinch because they're paying almost $5 for a gallon of gas. So you would agree that their economics changed since the time that we purchased that house for them, right?
Yes.
Okay, last question. Keep your hand up. Tell me if you think that family that you're thinking about has a lot of equity sitting in their home.
Definitely.
Okay. You can put your hand.
2 hands on that one.
Because what I want to do is tell you how we might do a scenario, okay? I looked up a few houses on MLS before we came on today, okay? And I found a house, believe it or not, on MLS that was selling for $400,000. Would you agree there's a few of them that are selling for $400,000?
Yeah, the inventory isn't as what it was, but yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. What if we went to our customer that we helped purchase a house, and what if we helped them access some of the equity that's in their home? So in other words, we went to them and said, hey, let's create a second mortgage. Let's create a line of credit for $100,000. Okay.
And making you guys nervous yet? Are you nervous?
Say what?
I'm like, is it making you guys nervous yet hearing this? 100. So now you're not talking sell their home. You're not talking refinance.
No, I'm talking just access the equity. I want you to leave the money in your checking account in your checking account.
I love that idea.
I want you to do. I want you to leave the money in your savings account in your savings account.
Okay, Kimberly says I'm nervous. She's a real estate agent. So you nervous about inventory and sales, Kim? So this might work in Roswell, New Mexico too. So Jason, yes, right? Can you lend in New Mexico?
So here's the point I want to make. This is what it is that I'm trying to say. If I took that $100,000,
she says people are not.
I put an offer in on that house at $400,000.
Okay.
And I was going to put 20% down on it. 20% down on a $400,000 house is $80,000. I'm going to need probably about $10,000 for closing costs. Probably going to need that. And then I want to have $10,000 just for my sleep at night money, right? Just to make sure that I have a cushion for what it is that I'm doing. Did you know that the cost of your mortgage, the cost of your HELOC, the cost of all of those different things combined, if you were to add up your total expense on that number is going to be right at about $2,000 per month.
What?
Now.
But now people will say, wait, I don't have an extra $2,000 to spend.
You're right. You don't. But do you know who does?
Renters.
The person who's going to rent it for you. And the market rent on that $400,000 house that I looked up, do you want to know what it was?
What area is it in?
I looked it up. It was in Glendale.
Like Glendale, like icky Glendale?
No, not icky Glendale. Nice Glendale.
All right, I'm gonna say How many bedrooms? I just want to guess. How many bedrooms?
4.
4 bedrooms, 2 bath, probably. Okay, so they can probably rent it for $2,200.
25.
Whoa! You're blowing me. Oh, sorry. That was probably really loud.
So here's
Okay.
what it is that I want you to think about. Katie, remember the family that we were talking about?
Yeah.
If we had the ability to help them without a penny out of their checking account or savings account, we're just going to leverage the equity that they've earned in their property. And we could go out and we could buy a house with an expense at $2,000, and then we could rent that house at $2,500. Katie, do you think that $500 a month might make them feel just a little bit better about paying almost $5 for a gallon of gas?
You guys tell me. My lighting's going wacky. What do you think? So, Kim, let's address this really quick because that's a really good point, Jason. Because the reason why you can do that, buy it and rent it out, is because you're buying it as an investment property. First of all, just to remind everybody, okay? Because you don't have to live in it. It's not your primary residence. So you can rent it out. And here, so Kim, now you might be talking about because it's not the same. And so I don't know. I think you're in Roswell, right? Just want to be sure. I think she is. So it's like 50,000 people. So I don't know what the market's like there. So you tell me, because is our rental market is insane here too. It's literally first come, first serve. They do have some things where people are like bidding more, and that kind of a thing just to win a place to live. So when you say not disciplined, do you mean people aren't saving the money? Because he's talking about using the money that you've gained in your equity in your home, right? Okay, so different market in Roswell. Yeah, Jason, we'll have to like research some other stuff. Maybe we'll talk to Kim and come up with some ideas for some different markets too.
Let me, I guess, pose this to Kim. This would be my question to Kim. If you have equity in your property in Roswell, right, why wouldn't you necessarily be able to put yourself in a situation if you invested in the market in Phoenix, Arizona? If it's not that hot in Roswell, what if you were to pick up a property, let's say in Peoria, next to Peoria Sports Complex, and maybe instead of a long-term tenant, you turned it into an Airbnb. So whenever you came out and you visited Katie and I, and we hung out, you'd have your own place that you were staying in. But then when you weren't here, it was on Airbnb. Katie, during spring training, do you know how much those properties rent out for around there?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
My brother-in-law, we've had 2 Super Bowls here. It was kind of a fancy house. It was in a like Scottsdale area. He was able to rent the house for $30,000 for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what events we have going on here too. So now you're going to be talking to her soon. So this could apply in my case with our house. Would this be my best option?
Ureli, the answer is yes. And when we talk tomorrow, this is exactly what I'm going to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she was talking about refinancing and stuff. So Kim says investing is just hard right now because prices are just so high. People here are just not buying unless they absolutely have to. And I would totally agree.
Let me show you something, because I get this a lot. And here's where it is that I'm going with it. That's a really good point that you're making. I'm going to ask you this question, Katie. In my example that I just gave to you, somebody were to buy a piece of real estate, and I know it's a hot market, but when they take out a 30-year fixed rate mortgage and their expense is $2,000 a month, a year from now, how much is that mortgage payment?
It's the same.
It's the same, right?
Yeah.
But your $2,500 a market rent, how much is that going to be next year when you renew it?
Yeah, I think I heard, now this could be wrong, here in the Valley, rent went up as much as $400 a month. Some people did. And they did that, so they wanted to get other people in to charge more. And so
they're
I don't know if
that it's going up by over 6% a year. 6% a year, at least in the greater Maricopa County area, is what it's averaging by going up. 6% on a $2,500 market rent figure is $150 a month. I'm saying let's just call it 100. But here's my point. And this is what it is that I want you to understand, because the title of this podcast is How to Make Inflation Work for You, right?
Yeah. Or how to beat it.
Get it, right? It's an investment. It's a difficult time to buy. Let me tell you something. If you wanted to do this, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you could lock your expense in on an investment so that expense was never going to change, but inflation is going to continue. I mean, they haven't even come out with the inflation numbers yet for March, because March isn't over, which doesn't have the Ukraine figured into it. And as long as inflation is going up, market rent is a part of inflation. There's not enough housing. The home builders can't build it fast enough because they can't get materials. They
Yep.
can't hire people. We can't build apartment complexes fast enough. There's just not enough inventory of places where people live. There's too many household formations on what it is that we're doing. So here's what it is that I'm saying. You're right. It's a difficult market, but again, if you make the inflation work for you so that you're the recipient of the inflation every single year when you get to raise that rent payment and your cost stays the same, guess what you're doing?
Yep.
You're beating inflation.
I think this is going to turn into like a multiple podcast thing. We'll probably expand on it next week too. One thing I'm going to throw out there, Jason, because here, so Kim, you're going to have to fill us in if that's what happens there. We still have people. I mean, I have a client right now paying $90,000 over asking.
Mm-hmm.
90,000 over. So that is something that we have to contend with. So I don't know if we need to follow up with something like that, because if you have a $400,000 house, you may not get it for 400, right? So we have to play with that a little bit. Can they take out a little bit more of a loan to cover that?
They can't. And here's the thing. The purpose of this is to just expose you to an idea. Like I told you, there's going to be a lot of different things. There's going to be a lot of different things out there that we have to discuss. Here's what I tell you, Katie. Over the last year, by being patient, I've acquired 4 properties in the last 12 months. And I didn't get those. I got those because I was patient. I waited for the right deal. And every single one of those is creating that positive cash flow that we have going on. So if this was something that you were interested in, you really need to talk to Katie. You really need to talk to me so that we can set the right expectations. Hey, honestly, this might take 4 or 5 months to figure out and find.
Yeah.
But if we did, you're putting yourself in a very strong situation.
Now, I know, Jason, that you lend in other states. Do you lend in New Mexico?
I lived in New Mexico, Texas, California, Colorado, Nevada, Utah.
I wish it was Illinois, because I have so many Chicago clients.
Don't lend in France.
You do?
No.
I wonder if they have lamps out there.
I wonder. Better than this.
So this is the basic gist. We've had really good questions tonight. So this is good. You let us know if you have any other questions. And Jason, I asked that question too, because, I feel weird on this side because I'm always looking the other way. There you go. See, hi.
There we go.
I ask it because I know this is what people will ask, right? And so I think this is a really great thing to do. It's something to use if you are already a home buyer, but it's a homeowner, but it's also something to think about if you are going to purchase a home, and something you can do in the future. So build your equity. Once you get enough, you can make another investment. Okay. And that's pretty fab. Oh, look. Give Jason Marcel. There it is. Take a screenshot.
Boom. Got it.
It'll still be in here. So do you? Are you writing it down?
Yeah.
505-219-7683. So Kim and I've had some conversations on the phone too. So Kim, we need to get caught up too.
Hey, Kim, just so you know, here's what's really interesting. This whole journey started for me. I did what I'm talking about, and I bought this little place in Prescott because I thought Prescott was a cooler place than where I was at. And that ended up turning out to be obviously one of the best investments that I've had. But anyways, it made me move to Prescott because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. So
even if it isn't New Mexico, you can make real estate work for you really anywhere. Yeah.
I'd like to buy in Prescott. So this is really awesome because you as an investment property, you can buy in the Poconos if you want to. It doesn't matter. You don't have to live in that state. So if people can take advantage, especially since, hey, we're here in Metro Phoenix and he's in Prescott, so you can buy up there too. And if we could get you in Flag, we can get you to Tucson, wherever you need to go. But it's only 70 miles from here. It's shorter for me to go see Jason than it is for me to go to Santan most of the time. Mm-hmm. Which people are like, Santan. I'm like, get out your Google Maps. But okay, I'm going to talk about weird in the news. It's not totally weird today, but I got the information from, I'll share that in a minute. So this just cracked me up for some reason. Jason, would this be a way that you would ride to the office? Boom. Can you see it?
You're scrolling up.
Man touts electric unicycle is high answer to gas prices. Really? So can you see that picture?
Yes.
All right. So basically, the whole article says he's got the answer for those singing the blues about stratospheric gas prices. And he's taken to riding his electric unicycle. So it can go, okay, here's crazy. Okay. It doesn't have a seat, doesn't have handlebars, just places for his feet. And goes 70 or 80 miles an hour on one charge and reaches 70 or 80 miles, sorry, reaches the speed of up to 40 miles per hour. I was like, 70 or 80 miles per hour?
Yeah, pass. No.
Yeah, so he says it literally takes me 4 minutes to get to work versus about 8 minutes in a vehicle. And he's like, he can ride on the sidewalk, he can get in front of the other cars. It costs about $2,000, but you've got to wear protective gear, which I'll show the picture again in a minute. But he said, it's the future. In 10 or 20 years, I'm sure we wouldn't have to bring it up.
Man,
do you see the future as everybody riding unicycles?
Do you want to know what I see in the future there? What? I see a future hospital visit is what I see.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is, as you can see in the picture, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see the cursor?
Yes.
Okay. So like right here. So it's like, you know, the guys that ride the motorcycles, they're way up here. I don't know how that's comfortable or whatever, but is there straps that hold him? Are there straps that hold him on there?
I don't know.
Like, it's like, because I know people that ride unicycles and they're like, do you know what I mean? Like,
honestly, people can't figure out hoverboards. How are they going to figure that out?
Exactly. All right, we have a comment really quick here. I don't know if it's on this or the market. Okay, this is what's going on here. Oh, hang on. Sorry, hang on. So Kim says our son wants to move to Arizona in the next 18 to 24 months. See, that's awesome. So maybe Kim, you could buy an investment property, and you know, whatever. Yeah, you could charge your son rent, right, Jason?
Of course you can. I do to mine.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing to do. Okay, so anyway, that's weird. That's one of your weird in the news. And then the other thing is, as you know, what's going on? What's the biggest thing in the news right now? I just talked about it last night on my podcast.
The slap heard around the world.
The slap heard around the world. What do you think about that, Jason? What are your thoughts?
The internet always wins. And I think I've seen some of the best memes in the last 24 hours that I've seen in my entire life. It's pretty crazy.
So what I talked about last night, the biggest issue is that it's violence is never the answer. So this is the same picture that everybody used, and I used it. Okay, look at his hand. I mean, did you guys watch it? Like, I'm not going to do it again. We're not going to talk. I'm just going to do a little follow up here. I mean, he literally brought his hand back and just whack. And there are people that think it was fake. What purpose would that serve to muddy his name like that? You know, so
that was most certainly not fake. That was real.
So here's the interesting thing. The reason why I'm bringing it up, because it is weird in the news, but it's also WTF. Okay, so it says the Los Angeles Police Department has said it was aware of the incident, but was not investigating because Rock declined to file a police report.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't, but you know what? He's turning the other cheek. He's choosing to not make it a bigger deal than what it needs to be.
Well, Chris Rock, but I mean, the police, it doesn't matter what Chris Rock, can't you prosecute someone without, even if they say no? Like if a guy beats his wife, they can still prosecute him, right?
Yeah, if the police.
So why are they afraid?
They're required to do that, but.
Yeah. So while police could technically open an investigation based on the Academy Awards broadcast, they wouldn't do so without Rock's participation, said the defense lawyer Alan Jackson, blah, blah, blah. Would they ever in a practical world do that when Chris Rock is saying, I won't cooperate with the criminal investigation? Not in a million years, this prosecutor said. LAPD is probably breathing a relative sigh of relief that they don't have to get involved with two high-profile actors duking it out on the world stage. But what do you see the problem with that?
I think the problem with it is the example that it sets for everybody.
Yeah, and if they don't follow through, like, what's that going to say for everybody else that, you know what I mean? Like, wants to do the same thing. So that's weird news. We're not going to go off on it. I talked about it last night for half an hour. We got half an hour tonight. Whoops.
Can't help it.
We always what?
Can't help it.
Can't help it. We're a bunch of talkers. Oh, hey, my friend. Oh, hey, Rick. This is a kid from my old school. Hi, Rick. He said hi to you before, I think.
Yeah.
Al, my buddy, he should have slapped him on the wrist. Right, exactly. Okay. Hollywood privilege. Okay, good. We got some comments on the second weird in the news thing.
You know what they could do, Katie, to like make it all better? They could do that Russian thing, right? Where you have two guys that stand at a table and they
That's right. Yeah.
And they
Well,
take turns.
I think it is a testament of privilege and stuff. And, like,
It is.
hero? Oh, Superman. I'm wearing a Chicago Bagel Authority t-shirt. What do you think of that?
I think Superman's the greatest superhero there is. That's what I think.
I'll be Wonder Woman. Okay, I used the information from these two sites tonight for
Cool.
that, just to keep me covered from oddities, and then also apnnews.com. So also, this is the day that President Reagan was shot, the attempted assassination by Hinckley. Today is the day. I don't remember what the year was, but you guys, we appreciate you. You know what our ending statement is, Jason?
Katie, I think it has something to do with your very famous footwear.
And your famous footwear. It is.
Love your socks.
I love your socks.
Love your socks.
I love your socks. So you guys, we're going to be coming back weekly. Tell us if you'd like us to keep it at 6:00. We could record it and upload it, but then we don't get all the comments.
Yeah, you tell us.
You tell us. Oh, name changes. I'm thinking here's what I was thinking, Jason, and I left it in there. Do you want to say something for a second while I go grab it real quick?
Sure.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Just talk. No pressure, right? So you would be surprised the behind the scenes that Katie and I have when it comes to the consternation about how we're going to name this, what our weird in the news is. Like our pre-production meetings are, we should probably record that one time.
Actually, let's do that. I can record it on here and we can upload it, and like as a little thing, because it's funny. Okay, we got some more comments really quick. I know we said bye. We'll say bye again. Whatever. Rick Kindle, bagels, Italian spices, and covered with garlic and buttered toast. What are you talking about? Where did that come from?
Bagels.
Did I talk about bagels? What are your stream colors? He's always curious. I think he does like a gaming thing. I think he videos it. Rick, this is something that they chose. Let's see if I can do. I have to redo our video. I'll have to tell you later. I can't. Let's see what it's called. Oh, they don't have names for it, so I don't know. I don't get the bagel thing though. So, what are you doing at home over there, Rick?
What are you doing?
What are you doing over there?
What are you
Your
doing?
shirt. Oh, my shirt.
Katie.
What am I doing over here?
Wow.
Chicago Bagel Authority. That's right. Yeah, it's my buddy Greg's shop in Chicago. Okay, so I was thinking, just you guys, if you just see Jason Fremo's name there and you know my last name Horgan, just the things you can come up with that are hysterical, like Freeho. Or
yeah.
Or Homeowner.
There we go.
No, we're not going to do that. But all I can think of is like they have like RL Duo. Like I was thinking Dynamic Duo, but we have to look it up, and there's so many. And then I thought I had more written down, but I have what. We could do that. It should be related to what we're doing, but they have already checked. They already have like here's the thing, so it's kind of annoying. So there's Jason like doing multitasking. Like, yeah, it's so interesting, Katie. Can we end this already?
No. Just
love your socks. We're gonna do it again.
Love your socks, friend.
Bye. Stay on 1 second, okay? Bye, everybody.
See ya.